Give me the strength to do what I must.
Abraham, do not harm your child. For now I know that you fear God, seeing that you've not withheld your son, your beloved son.
박연 사건으로 시신 운반 관련자를 알아냈다. 그렇다면 다음은
우리나 잘못되니까 내가 불편해서 그런다고. 불편 뜻 알죠? 좁고 눅눅하고 따끔하고.
팀장이 있었는데 교통사고가 났습니다.
Прикончил?
Да.
Я жду. Там одна девка осталась. Быстро прикончу.
Да.
Polisi walipokuja kwako katoroka. Na ndio inafanya unanileta mahakama sababu we ni muizi.
Yes.
Utake jolekane. I want to report him. He's a thief.
Yes, he is.
Lakini kwa
secretary
we,
of thief.
ama kwa bahati mbaya ama kwa bahati ghafla bin vu, kuna hao wachamaa wa kutembeshanga hizi makaratasi za atafutai.
Ukampatia Sungura pesa ngapi?
Nikampatia 800,000.
800,000.
Exactly.
Kwa Sungura.
Cash money.
Hapa unaona Sungura?
Hakuna.
Wewe, hiyo chura baya wewe iko nayo. Wewe ikotoa hiyo pesa yote wapi ya?
Mimi chura mbaya.
Wewe chura baya kabisa. Na try. Mimi iko weka wewe ndani.
So who is he? His name is Alex, but I am not saying anything more. Nguo zako, viatu zako na hii sura yako atake kuiona huko.
Unajua mimi nikikasirika.
Ha! Jemadari! Nasi mmefurahi.
Sitakubali ufanye mamangu akwe mwenda azimu wewe.
Utadu nini?
Hey,
Jane, leave alone. That's what she wants.
Christine na Teresia ni kesi ngumu sana.
kuna kitu nataka kukuambia.
Sure.
And you can't tell anyone.
I promise.
Nitakwambia uandike jina ya nani.
Unataka kuruka? Hebu toka kwangu uende.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News. Thank you for joining us this afternoon right here on KBC Channel 1. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Susan Thuku. Well, we have so much in store for you. And remember, you can interact with us on our social media handles at KBC Channel 1. Now, to kick us off, Tuesday marked day 2 of the 4th phase of exhumation of bodies at the Shakahola forest linked to the cult preacher Paul Mackenzie. 12 more bodies were exhumed on Monday. A multi-security team conducting the search and rescue mission identified 40 more graves believed to contain multiple bodies.
Search and rescue team goes on, despite the fact that the numbers of rescues have gone down, but still the search, especially in assisting the Frolensky team, continues. The rescues, because the numbers have gone down, remain the same at 95, and the arrests at the moment we are at 37.
In other news, 2 suspected car robbers were fatally shot by a civilian who is a licensed firearm holder in Kiriko and Gedongori constituency after they were caught vandalizing vehicles on Monday night.
While confirming the incident, Kiambu County Police Commander Pamingas Kioi said 4 thugs attacked tenants and started vandalizing the vehicles which were parked outside their houses. Unbeknownst to them, one of the residents had a licensed firearm and was able to shoot 2 of them, while the other 2 escaped with injuries.
So using his firearm, I struggled with them, and the 2 of them have been fatally killed, while 2 have escaped to other areas. And we believe they have also escaped with the injuries.
QA gave a stern warning to any criminal planning to continue with their heinous acts, that the law enforcers will not condone them.
Very stern warning to them, because we have quite a number of syndicates which are coming back in Kiambu. We are not going to allow at all crime to come back to Kiambu, and we are ready for them. I have enough resources, and I have also enough personnel to deal with them, and we are not going to condone this kind of menace at all.
Residents appreciated the prompt police response and called for enhanced patrols to curb escalating vandalism and related crimes in the area.
Amezoea kuiba mali ya wenyewe, hata vitu shambani usipokuwa makini kwako huwezi pata kitu.
Lakini siku ya leo tumefurahia juu serikali ilituitika, wakasikia mwito wetu haraka sana na wakakuja na kuamkia tukakuta wameua hata 2. Tulifurahia sana.
Joan Junge for Lunchtime News.
A private developer who has encroached on Pangani Girls' school land has been ordered to vacate the premise and present himself or herself to authorities. Starehe Deputy County Commissioner John Kisang said the developer should also uninstall CCTV camera, standby generator, and clear his dump site from the school compound.
On Tuesday morning, a security team from Nairobi County, led by Starehe Deputy County Commissioner John Kisang, made an impromptu tour of Pangani Girls High School. This follows complaints from the institution's management that a private developer had encroached on the school's land.
It is very risky because this is a boarding area. This is where we have the dormitories, and when an opening is there that we are not in control of, it of course puts the security of the whole school in jeopardy.
As security team of Starehe, we are here because purposely to protect the girls. Number 2, to make sure even these buildings follow the law. And this law has been broken because you cannot build it along service lines. You cannot open a door to a neighbor without your neighbor knowing what is happening.
Pangani Girls High School Chief Principal Florence Mugarari said the current situation poses a security threat to the school community.
I'm making an appeal to the authority to be very keen on the construction surrounding Pangani so that the school we can feel secure and we can feel it can be easy for us to concentrate with our main business of learning.
And things may happen in this school compound or to our learners who are here, very innocent girls who are here. So this thing is about the security of the girls, the security of the learners who are in this school. So we are here on the strength of that, and that we want to stop this maybe in the next 12 hours. In the next 12 hours, we need all these things to be removed and that door closed.
Starehe Deputy County Commissioner John Kisang directed the private developer to vacate the institution.
We have summoned the owner to our office with firm instructions because they've done 4 illegal things. 1, they have put a CCTV that is facing the school, and this is a girls' school. Number 2, they have dumped a lot of building wastes here. Number 3, the building on the service line.
Laikipia County has surpassed a billion shillings mark on its own source revenue collection for the first time since the advent of devolution. The county collected 1.13 billion shillings for the 2022-2023 financial year compared to 903.89 million shillings it collected during the 2021-2022 financial year. The county chief officer in charge of finance, Daniel Ngome, says they had targeted to collect 1.297 billion shillings. He attributed the achievement to digitization of revenue collection avenues, which facilitated the tracking of taxes. The county targets to collect about 1.475 billion shillings for the financial year 2023-2024.
The reason for the growth in revenue has primarily been because of investing in revenue generating areas. We have invested so much money and expenditures in hospitals, which has brought up revenue. We have also further, we have invested in a robust system of monitoring and evaluation, where we have been able to ensure that whatever we are collecting is supervised, is tracked, and there are performance reviews on the same.
Now, Azimio coalition legislators from Kilifi County have vowed to lead demonstrations in the county tomorrow to rally support for their party leader Raila Odinga against the high cost of living, led by Kilifi Senator Stuart Madzayo, who is also the minority leader in the Senate, and Malindi MP Amina Minyanzi. The leaders have cautioned against police interference, saying it is their constitutional right to protest. However, Ruiru MP Simon Kingara of Kenya Kwanza has warned that the demos will only worsen the economic situation in the country.
Odinga amesema kila mahali watu waweke mikutano waweze kuzungumza masuala ya hali ya maisha ilivyopanda juu. Pia sisi watu wa Kilifi County tutafanya hivyo hivyo, kwa sababu ni haki yetu sisi ya kikatiba kuweza kuzungumza na kuweza kushare ideas ya yale mambo ambayo sisi yanatukumba kama wananchi wa Kenya.
Wakenya wote pote walipo wajue ya kwamba Kilifi ni mojawapo ya ndani ya Kenya, na sisi pia wakiumia hao pia sisi tunaumia. Kwa hiyo tunasema tuheshimiane. Sisi mkutano wetu ni kwamba tunataka kuregesha bei ya chakula chini, unga uende chini, mafuta yaende chini, petroli iende chini, ili kila kitu ndani ya Kenya yetu iwe itakuwa gharama yake iko chini, ili Mkenya aishi kama yuko ndani ya Kenya.
Kwa hivyo kuwa na utulivu. Hata ukienda hospitali upewa dawa huponi siku ya kwanza, inachukua muda. Kwa hivyo uchumi wetu utarudi laini, lakini hautarudi laini kama sisi hatuna uvumilivu kwa yale inatakiwa itekelezwe na serikali ile mliuda miezi 8 iliyopita.
And away from that, we now cross over to Parliament buildings, where the Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki is appearing before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating the Shakahola deaths. Now let's listen in.
And then it ends there. But what we are having there is a complete elimination. As a religious group, members of GNI were targeted for complete elimination in the entire setup, the entire family. So I disagree. However, notwithstanding that, we are not ruling out any possibility. Even that aspect, we have not ruled out that there could be land and economic issues involved in our investigation, because it will be foolhardy to do so.
Well, we do apologize for that. That was Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki appearing before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating the Shakahola deaths. Now, we shall be keeping you updated in our subsequent bulletins. For now, we move on. Health workers in Machakos County have issued a 6-day strike notice if the county government fails to address their demands. Previously, they had given an ultimatum of 3 weeks demanding improved working environment. Addressing journalists at Machakos Level 5 Hospital, the health workers said it has been a challenge treating patients who have to buy medical supplies. They also cited the shortage of staff and stagnation in job groups as some of their grievances.
Without a serious, meaningful engagement from the same county government that we have now engaged for over 1 year plus without any tangible result, then it is unfortunate. And our members have given us a very stern warning that they shall take themselves to strike, even without our command, come 6 days at the elapse of these 21 days.
Jambo hili limekuwa donda sugu kwa wananchi wa Machakos kwa sababu unapokwenda hospitalini na upati madaktari wa kutosha, basi unaketi pale kwa muda mrefu sana ukingojea huduma, na hilo si jambo mzuri.
Time is up. Our members have refused. It is time to go on a strike.
Now, on education matters, in an effort to tackle the shortage of primary and secondary schools in Nairobi County, the national government has been called upon to collaborate with the county government to reduce the number of learners that go out of Nairobi County in search of education. Speaking during the issuance of bursaries to 540 beneficiaries, Embakasi Ward member of the County Assembly, Ricardo Nyantika, emphasized the need to reduce the number of students leaving Nairobi County in search of education. He also cautioned developers encroaching on public land, saying it is meant to benefit the community through the construction of schools and hospitals.
We only have one public school hapa Embakasi Primary. Ndio tunaendelea kujaribu kusukuma tuone kama tutapata ingine huko Tasia, na secondary hakuna hapa, iko Garrison peke yake na ni ndogo. Tasia wale wenye walikuwa wanajaribu kupora hospitali tumeshakanyaga hiyo, so we are moving in. Wale wenye wamekalia masoko na vitu zingine tujaribu, tunawaambia waweze kuondoka ili tuweze kupata amenities zenye zinahudumia wananchi.
Nachukua hii fursa ya kumshukuru Mheshimiwa Nyantika kwa kutupatia hii pasari, sababu Embakasi for the last 17 years tunaona ni kama miujiza.
The process was just easy. Nilipata application form, I applied. Hakuna mambo ya mlango ya nyuma, hakuna mambo ya ukabila. It's my first time nimeipata. I've been trying to apply hiyo ingine all along. Imekuanga tu porojo.
Now, Kenya Women Teachers Association has embarked on a program to share knowledge and expertise in their profession. Speaking in Kisii, the association's Chief Executive Officer Benta Opande, while unveiling a digital platform that enhances teacher-student interaction, noted that through the platform, teachers can pose questions that will be assessed by students, or rather accessed by students, at a subsidized fee. Opande says a memorandum of understanding has been signed with stakeholders that include Equity Bank to supply laptops to the association's members that will boost the initiatives and in turn the government's ICT laboratory project.
We are giving out over 200 laptops to women teachers and male teachers who are members of KEWOTA. This platform allows teachers to enroll freely. They post questions on the laptop and on that platform, and these questions will be picked by students who are already in that platform. Anytime a student picks a question, the teacher gets paid 5 bob per question.
Sessions as such, they help girl child, those children who are not going to school, the mothers who are suffering at home. Those are the teachers that have been retired who does not have financial support. These people have come to their rescue, and I want us all to embrace that.
And away from education matters, Kitui County government has begun sensitizing Boda operators on the importance of forming SACCOs and self-help groups in order to benefit from government funds and projects. Kitui County Boda and Transport Chief Officer Peter Mosia says that through such initiatives, sanity will be restored in the Boda sector and operators will benefit fully from their business.
Na wanabodaboda tutasaidika kupitia SACCOs na welfares, zile self-help groups, sababu venye tumesoma tukiungana pamoja tunaweza saidika kupitia kwa county government na kupitia kwa sub county.
Tunataka tuwa engage katika ile SACCO ili tuwa train mambo kadha wa kadha, at least tujue
kama tumepata information ama ile data tutapata, tunajua ile pikipiki ni ya nani, ID number, anafanya kazi which sub county, which ward, which village. With such information we are 100% sure that kama kuna mambo kama ya wizi, bodaboda inahusika katika mambo ambayo haifai, the bodaboda operator ataongopa kufanya, because anajua ikionekana ile bodaboda anajulikana hii ni ya nani na anafanya hapa.
Now, the government has initiated special school feeding program in Tiati constituency, Baringo County, in a bid to encourage more children to go to school. The area currently has a low turnout in schools, which has been mainly attributed to high poverty levels and the biting drought. During a food distribution event, education stakeholders said statistics had shown that there was high enrollment of students in schools when the feeding program is on.
Hapa mwanafunzi anaweza kosa kuja na kitabu shuleni, lakini hawezi kosa kusahau kubeba sahani. Kwa nini? Chakula ambacho anapata shuleni ndicho kinamtosheleza siku yote hadi pengine kesho. Wazazi kwa sababu ya umaskini hawawezi ruhusu watoto kwenda shuleni iwapo hakuna chakula, kwa sababu wanatumiwa sasa kama njia ya kwenda kujitafutia. Kwa hivyo pasipo na chakula wanafunzi hawafiki shuleni.
Hakuna chakula, masomo ya wanafunzi wetu inakuwa chini sana. Kwa hivyo chakula pande hii huwa inasaidia sana. Nakumbuka vizuri sana kama hakuna chakula, wakati fulani unapata kwamba ile enrollment, wale wanafunzi ambao wanakuja shuleni utapata kiwango chao inakuwa ni cha chini sana. Kwa hivyo chakula pande hii ni cha msingi sana.
Ningependa hii iwe continuous process. Ile process ingine ya school feeding program ya kawaida itaendelea ikiambatana na hii ya special relief food for schools, ili tuwe na watoto wengi ndani ya shule kuliko wengi nje ya shule.
Police in Kiambu County have launched a manhunt for a suspect who allegedly killed his lover and dumped her body at a maize plantation in Kiambu town on Sunday evening. This and more in our county news roundup.
The body of 52-year-old Rosemary Ruguru, a bar attendant at Riverside Hotel, was found by passers-by on Monday morning. Kiambu Sub-County Police Commander Mahmoud Badel said they were piecing together all evidence, exuding confidence that the perpetrators will be arrested not later than soon.
Alitoka kazi saa 4 usiku akiwa na mwanaume. Tuangalia kamera, CCTV camera. At least we are in advanced stage now. Na ninahakikisha wananchi Kiambu kwamba hiyo mwanaume tutainasa leo jioni.
Elsewhere, an assistant chief in Kakamega County is on the spot for allegedly preying on underage girls. Rebuking the act, Professor Janet Kasili Baraza, spouse of Kakamega County Governor Ferdinand Baraza, pledged to ensure justice is served.
Sisi wazazi tuangalie watoto wetu. Tuwapatie mawaidha, but pia tuwapatie mahitaji yao kama watoto wasichana, ili wasiende kutafuta huku kwa jirani ama kutafuta kwa boda.
In Migori, organizers of the Nyanza Region Basic Education Music Festivals are worried about the security of this year's event, which began on Monday in Migori town. Speaking during the opening ceremony, Nyanza Regional Director of Education Nelson Sifuna urged the Migori community to ensure security of the pupils and their property.
We have shared so many good ideas of how to make this festival a success. We all appreciate that it's involving our children. And the security of these children is in the hands of all of us.
Migori County has been entrusted with the safety and welfare of 13,000 needy and vulnerable children, to allow those children to play, to sing, and to enjoy and develop their talent for the future.
And a section of United Democratic Alliance affiliate members in Mombasa County have raised concerns over the upcoming grassroots party elections, alleging ongoing boardroom negotiations to fill positions.
Kama kutakuwa na elections mwezi wa 8, lazima mambo fulani kwanza yaeleweke. NEC hawaja tuambia kama wametengeneza zile rules na regulations ambazo zitaendesha hiyo election. Na pia NEB hakuna communication yoyote.
Finally, young and aspiring writers have been urged to develop and nurture a reading culture. During a workshop in Nairobi organized by UNESCO in partnership with UNICAF and poet Ise and Novel Kenya, the writers were trained in research techniques and exposed to different researching styles.
Research is very important in writing because UNESCO realized that there was a gap in that the essays they received did not have proper research. And because we teach research methods at the university that are used in academic writing, we thought that we would impart some of these skills to our young people in Kenya who are budding creative writers.
That report brings us to a fast break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
What's that?
I brought you a small bonus.
Bonus for what?
You got us 299 family dinners, 64 kisses on the cheek, 12 road trips to see grandma, 42 jokes from daddy, 49 laughs from mommy.
In over 60 years of dealing with numbers, we've learned that the numbers that matter the most to you are the ones that matter the most to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
박연 사건으로 시신 운반 관련자를 알아냈다. 그렇다면 다음은
우리나 잘못되니까 내가 불편해서 그런다고. 불편 뜻 알죠? 좁고 눅눅하고 따끔하고.
팀장이 있었는데 교통사고가 났습니다.
Прикончил?
Да.
Я жду. Там одна девка осталась. Быстро прикончу.
Да.
Kabla sijapata maradhi ya moyo. Tell me one more thing. Kuna mwingine au ni ule bandi?
Ingekuwa wewe umesikia kwamba mke wako mkwendea kinyume ungesikiaje? Mimi sioni haja sisi kuja hapa.
Oh really? Halafu ili jumba lote tumwachie nani?
Mimi hapa kazi yangu ni wewe tu. Twende basi nao.
Safari ondoka uende kufanya kazi zako.
Chukua off mama.
Sawa eh? Nilikwambia mwanamke ni kisirani na hafanyi mzaha kabisa.
Kwa hivyo mimi ndio nafanya mzaha.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. Residents in 2 villages in Isiolo County are now able to access water with ease through a piping project established in the area. The piped water will reduce the trekking distance to the borehole that was sunk a while back. The project is also meant to encourage the villagers to embark on crop farming in order to enhance food security within the region.
Residents in Kachewa and Kambiaju villages in Bulapesa Ward, Isiolo County, are in high spirits after engineers teamed up to pipe water from an existing borehole in Mabatini to the 2 villages. The project is also expected to address the perennial food insecurity in the area. Through their umbrella association, the Institution of Engineers of Kenya Northeastern Branch provided resources in terms of pipes and expertise to install the pipes, while members of the local community dug trenches to make the project a reality.
we came up with a project under the AK Northeastern Branch for Donate a Pipe. That meant to sensitize IK members to bring up resources and donate the pipes so that we can complete the project that had been started by other development partners.
Tulikuwa na taabu sana hapa, hata maji ya kunywa upati ama kupua nguo. Tunaenda hapa kwa kanisa tunaomba mtungi moja ni ya kupika. Hakuna kupua nguo, hakuna kufanya nini. Tunakula taabu sana. Kwa hivyo yangu ni shukrani kwenu. Wapazili wale ametuletea pipe.
Speaking at Kachewa, the project engineer Charles Tumarta said that the solar-powered borehole at Mabatini has been in existence for close to 10 years, but locals were unable to fully utilize it because of the distance.
We had a kisima that is powered by solar that was connected to a water tank, and that water tank we've been able to connect our community members from Isiolo, Bulapesa area to get water for farming, to get water to do for drinking, and also for their animals, and most especially to promote farming and planting of trees.
Washikadau wengine pamoja na hawa wakishirikiana wakuje wasaidie hii area. Maji ilikuwa ikakatika, ni kweli, na njaa imekuwa mingi, ni kweli. Lakini sasa kama tumepata hii maji, nadhani njaa itakuwa imefanya nini? Imekwisha.
The engineers challenged both the county and national government to initiate more water and sanitation projects in areas that are dominantly arid and semi-arid in order to empower the local population to be more productive through agriculture. For Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
And now we cross over to the SKM Center in Karen, where the launch of the official Citizens Initiative website for signature collections platform is underway. Let's listen in.
To force Ruto and his regime to respect and listen to the people. To take instruction, and the executive decided to own wishes regardless of what the people feel or say. Both the legislature and the executive have ganged up against the people, and the people have decided rightly, executive and the legislature.
Well, we do apologize for the hitches we are experiencing. That is former Premier Raila Odinga, where the launch of the official Citizens Initiative website for signature collections platform is underway. We shall be keeping you updated in our subsequent bulletins. For now, we move on to business news, where the second phase of Thiba Dam is set for completion in October this year. Irrigation Principal Secretary Fantas Kimotho says the project, which encompasses construction of additional canals and sand-trap dams, is part of plans to increase the Mwea irrigation scheme's land under rice to 70,000 acres.
Kenya spent 34.4 billion shillings on rice imports last year as production dwindled due to successive failed rains. To boost rice production and reduce imports, the government plans to hasten completion of Phase 2 of Thiba Dam project. The second phase encompasses river diversion, dam embankment, creation of additional reservoirs, spillway works and construction of sand dams.
We've also done an inspection of the canals. So far, 2.4 kilometers is what is supposed to be done, but so far the contractor has been able to do 1.5.
The 1.6 billion shillings project that is expected to put an additional 10,000 acres under rice is set for completion in October this year.
Seen with the completion of that canal, farmers will not only have an additional 10,000 acreage to get to 35,000. currently we are at 30,000 based on the few farmers who have plugged in, but with the completion we'll be able to get to 35,000 completely. We'll not only get 35,000 acres covered, but we'll be able to comfortably have 2 seasons.
The first phase of the project has seen over 14,000 farmers increase the acreage under rice to 30,000 acres, netting farmers 18 billion shillings during the period.
We're also happy to see that the scheme has also moved to mechanized harvesting, which is going to help a lot towards reducing the cost of harvesting by almost 50%.
Benson Ruba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now, Apple supplier Foxconn has pulled out of a $19.5 billion deal with Indian mining giant Vedanta to build a chip-making plant. The move comes less than a year after the companies announced plans to set up the facility in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's home state of Gujarat. Details of these and more in news from around the globe.
An Indian government minister says a deal to have Indian mining giant Vedanta to build a chip-making plant in Gujarat will have no impact on the country's chip-making ambitions. A statement released by Taiwan-headquartered Foxconn indicates that there is a recognition from both sides that the project is not moving fast enough. The Indian government has been working on strategies to support the chip-making industry. Last year, it created a $10 billion fund to attract more investors to the sector in a bid to become less reliant on foreign chip makers. Meanwhile, the pound rose to a 15-month high against the dollar after data showed, adding to the pressure on the Bank of England to keep raising interest rates. British wages excluding bonuses was 7.3% higher in the 3 months to May than a year earlier, figures from the Office for National Statistics showed. Economists had forecast a 7.1% rise. Sterling rose 0.3% against the dollar to $1.2899, touching its highest level since April 25th last year. And finally, crude oil prices edged higher, recouping some of the losses from the previous session as traders focused on supply cuts by the world's biggest oil exporters, Saudi Arabia and Russia, and a weaker dollar. Supply cuts by the world's biggest oil exporters, Saudi Arabia and Russia, set for August, helped to lift the benchmark prices, which were also supported as the US dollar fell to a 2-month low. A weaker dollar makes crude cheaper for holders of other currencies and often boosts oil demand.
An American firm, Cantegra Biotechnology, is constructing an ultra-modern pyrethrum processing plant in Naivasha that is expected to create about 600 direct jobs. Once complete, the factory will have capacity to process 700,000 tons of pyrethrum.
Pyrethrum farmers in Nakuru County have a reason to smile after a US firm committed 1.6 billion shillings for construction of a processing plant. This emerged during the groundbreaking ceremony of the Cantegra processing plant in Naivasha, with projections that it will support over 90,000 small-scale farmers. U.S. Ambassador to Kenya Meg Whitman noted that her government was keen on supporting Kenya's industrialization.
The factory that we are breaking ground on today will support roughly 90,000 smallholder farmers spread across many counties. Let me say that again, 90,000 smallholder farmers. Simply amazing. And that support means better livelihoods, greater economic prosperity, and more positive stories like John's and the ones we heard just moments ago.
Nakuru County government plans to drastically increase land under pyrethrum from the current 7,000 acres to address the growing demand for the cash crop.
The government and other stakeholders have distributed more than 66 million seedlings to farmers since 2017. And more than 7,000 farmers have benefited in this county. So we are really going to upscale that so that we can make sure we get, at least in this year to next year, to at least 10,000 farmers and then go from there.
Nakuru County government further plans to build the capacity of those in the pyrethrum value chain, offer extension services, and ensure timely payment to farmers.
To turn the tide and place pyrethrum farming on an upward trajectory, in collaboration with our other players and mainly here Cantegra, Your Excellency Ambassador, we have provided seedlings to farmers and sought to build capacity in good agricultural activities to promote production. We are promoting contract farmers between farmers and processors, Kentegra, such as Pyrethrum Processing Company of Kenya, PPCK, Afrochem, Botanicals, and others to ensure timely payment of farmers and extension services.
Truly redeem a value chain, we need to start with the farmers. We engage our farmers as partners. It has to work for them and it has to work for the factory. For farmers to take up the crop, as you heard, they need to know that there's a market, they need to know that they're going to be paid, and they have to be supported to be successful.
The locally grown pyrethrum, which has been researched and developed in partnership with the University of Eldoret, is drought resistant and blooms all year round. Ndutamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
In our interview segment, a 3-day International Plastics Kenya exhibition has kicked off today at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, bringing together manufacturers, policymakers and businesses. When I joined by Swaminathan, who is a director, Rocket Plastic, to take us through the discussion about the plastic value chain in Kenya. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon. Nice to be here with you.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, to kick us off, could you tell us about the exhibition at the KICC and what it intends to achieve and perhaps its projected targets?
This exhibition is focusing on how to manufacture product from different plastics for different applications. The exhibition showcases the raw materials which are required for the industry, the machinery which are required for the industry and other support system, and we also have people to guide what kind of industry to start in Kenya particularly, and it will help the country achieve lot of dependence, reduce imports of finished products and make Kenya self-reliant on manufacturing of various plastic products. And also this is an industry which creates a lot of new entrepreneurs, and it has the potential to create a lot of jobs for the country.
Now, in terms of perhaps the impact, what is the impact of the conference happening on foreign direct investments into Kenya's plastic value chain?
See, in Kenya, there are already quite a few manufacturers of plastic products in the country, and in this segment, you don't need foreign direct investment in this segment, because Kenya themselves can start these factories. We say plastic factory can be started by anyone, anywhere, anytime, with any investment. So you can start a factory with as low as about $10,000. You can have about even $20 million investment in this segment. So the technology comes with the equipment. You don't need really great technology to share. It comes with the equipment. So the machines have been designed to deliver the product with the least intervention of technology. So the idea is to create more entrepreneurs within Kenya rather than bringing direct investment into Kenya. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, you are. So you've talked about the highlights of investing in the plastic industry. Perhaps what are the major risks in investment into the plastic sector?
Sorry, can you come again?
What are the major risks to investment in...
the risk?
Yes.
See, plastic industry generally grows at 2.5 times the GDP of any country. Supposing Kenya is growing, let's say 4%. This industry has a potential to grow at 10%. I don't see any risk in this, excepting that public perception of the industry as plastic is a culprit, the villain, or this one. But plastic by itself is not a villain. It is the people who litter. The plastic itself doesn't litter. It is what I would say. This is one of the most versatile material ever discovered in the universe for the benefit of the industry. A little abuse and irresponsible behavior only gives a bad name. Actually, there is so much talked about plastic pollution and everything. Actually, this throws up new challenges and opportunities for recycling plastic, because most of the plastic what we see in the daily life are 100% recyclable, reusable. So we can make further products out of it for different application, and we did not litter it or throw it and do it in the landfill. So honestly, I don't see any risk excepting the perceived risk of pollution. There is no direct risk.
Very well. So when we take a look at it, as consumers, how can we do our part in addressing the plastic pollution menace?
Yes, it's a very nice question. Thank you for prompting me to answer this. Plastic, since plastic is recyclable, can I just take one deviation? You know, the amount of plastic used in healthcare and medical system is so many. So with the result, the application after the use, we must keep the, segregate the product, keep it separately and facilitate recycling. The moment you mix it up with organic material and other trash in the garbage, right, segregation becomes little expensive, difficult, cleaning, it involves cleaning. So if the public understand that plastic is recyclable and used in good faith, their responsibility should be there to segregate it at the place where it is thrown and facilitate it for recycling.
So when we look at the manufacturers, there have been concerns, the negative impact plastics have on the environment. What are manufacturers of plastics expected to put in place measures? What are the measures they are expected to put in place?
Well, I think globally, a lot of regulations have been introduced by different countries. The manufacturers are made responsible till the product is collected, disposed of, unused or recycled. So that is a new sense of responsibility. I'm sure, like India has introduced the system, maybe I understand Kenya is also considering, and you will get the good cooperation from the manufacturers, and you will see once there is a change in the behavior of the consumer not to throw it, litter it on the streets and facilitate recycling, the manufacturers will build enough capacities or facilities to recycle this thing. And in fact, even in our exhibition, we have shown how the post-consumer mixed waste can be converted into plastic lumbers, which can be converted into low-cost, durable pallets, furniture to be kept in park, public houses, bus shelters, railway shelters. Please, people can have a look at it. We are here to share the technology, how these recycled plastic can be productively used for very long life applications.
Well, very well. We're winding up. Perhaps do you have any final remarks?
Yes. I see a great potential in Kenya for the growth of plastic industries, and particularly to create a lot of self-employment groups, entrepreneurs, and thereby create jobs. Import substitution can be a target. In the years to come, even the few products of imported plastic products can be reduced because they can be manufactured in Kenya. So we wish the Kenyan plastic industry and the economy as a whole all the best. We'll be proud to associate with this country for any growth. In fact, I would like to add one thing. Plastic waste is also can be used for road making. We are already talking to Machakos County. The high-level delegation visited our India. They have seen how the plastic waste can be used to make roads. So there are other applications, and we are here to help the Kenyan county or the government or the industry from our side to do the best.
Well, there you have it. That was Swaminathan, the director of Rocket Plastic Manufacturing. Remember, he sheds light on the conference at the KICC, which is a 3-day international Plastic Kenya exhibition that has kicked off today at the KICC, bringing together manufacturers, policymakers and businesses. Well, thank you so much, sir.
I thank you very much, and I thank the Kenyan people for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, in other news, the policy on affordable housing agenda should prioritize people living in informal settlements. Habitat for Humanity National Director Anthony Okoth says the move will help advance development priorities in health and education. He was speaking during the launch of a campaign dubbed Home Equals in Mukuru-Kwaruben slums, which seeks to increase access to decent housing in informal settlements.
We're working alongside the government, both at the national and the sub-national level, to ensure that we drive that element of people having that ability to own their own houses. Yeah? So we are looking at ways of creating platforms where they can have conversation with the relevant policy makers so that they can actually know how can they qualify to actually be roped into the housing infrastructure. We know for a fact that in Kenya here alone, we have a deficit of almost 200,000 houses every year.
Hii shirika ya Hampton fenye imekuja na NMS ilikuwa imeachilia huo mpangilio. Sasa naona ni kama ile msukumo wa special planning area ni kama bado tunaufufua tena, ili pahali NMS ilifikisha tuanzie hapo na kupanda.
Sports Arena, Scotland and Uruguay have arrived in the country ahead of the World Rugby Under-20 Trophy tournament scheduled to kick off this weekend at the Nyayo National Stadium. Scotland is in Pool A alongside Uruguay, USA and Zimbabwe, while host Kenya heads Pool B, which has Spain, Samoa and Hong Kong.
Scotland and Uruguay junior rugby team arrived in the country as the clock ticks ahead of the World Rugby Under-20 Trophy tournament set to kick off this weekend at the Nyayo National Stadium. The arrival of Scotland and Uruguay adds the number of foreign teams that have jetted in after Hong Kong arrived on Sunday night.
We've been training really hard over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And the boys are ready to go and play in the tournament. One of our biggest goals is to really embrace the culture of Kenya, not only enjoy the rugby but also to embrace the cultural opportunities that playing in a tournament like this also provides.
The tournament has attracted 8 teams drawn in 2 pools. Pool A has Scotland, Uruguay, USA and Zimbabwe.
I don't know, but I know that here we have some altitude, but I hope that our players are good to make a good play.
While host Kenya heads Pool B alongside Spain, Samoa and Hong Kong. Each team will play 3 pools matches before a ranking match on the final day. It is the second time Kenya is hosting the Under-20 Trophy tournament since 2009, when the tournament was known as the Junior World Rugby Trophy. Kenya finished 4th after 1917 third place playoff defeat to Chile, which remains their best Under-20 Trophy finish to date. The winners of the tournament will be promoted to the Under-20 Championships in 2024. For Lunchtime News, I'm Sela Onyango.
Top seed Carlos Alcaraz underlined his status as the man tipped to stop Novak Djokovic from winning another Wimbledon title after beating 2021 finalist Matteo Berrettini in the 4th round. In another match, Novak Djokovic reached the Wimbledon quarterfinals with a convincing victory over Poland's Hubert Hurkacz.
Top seed Carlos Alcaraz fought back to win 3-6, 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 against Matteo Berrettini and reached the quarterfinals for the first time. The 20-year-old Spaniard will next face Denmark's Holger Rune, who won 3-6, 7-6, 7-6, 6-3 against Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov. In another match, Novak Djokovic reached the Wimbledon quarterfinals by completing a 7-6, 7-6, 4-6, 6-4 victory over Poland's Hubert Hurkacz when the pair returned to court. Djokovic was leading by 2 sets when they were forced off the court on Sunday night because of the 11 p.m. curfew. In the women's division, Ons Jabeur swept past below par Petra Kvitova to reach the Wimbledon quarterfinals and set up a repeat of last year's final against Elena Rybakina. The Tunisian